Carl Jung, a noticeable Swiss therapist and psychoanalyst, made critical commitments to the understanding of the human mind, and his work regularly met with wonders that lie past routine logical clarification. Jung's investigation of the brain research of the supernatural was a fundamentally portion of his broader hypotheses of the oblivious and the human mind, which enveloped an assortment of concepts that challenged the boundaries of conventional psychology. Synchronicity. The concept of synchronicity was presented by the Swiss analyst Carl Gustav Jung to depict occasions that are genuinely related but need a causal association. Not at all like cause and effect connections where one occasion specifically leads to another, synchronicity alludes to the synchronous event of two or more occasions that are not causally connected, however are experienced as being essentially related in a significant way. Jung created this thought in portion to clarify how certain encounters can show up to be profoundly critical or typical in spite of missing a clear cause and effect relationship. He saw synchronicity as a way to bridge the crevice between the inside mental state of a person and outside occasions. In other words, it gives a system for understanding how our internal world and external world can be interconnected in a nonlinear fashion. One classic illustration of synchronicity is the wonder of considering approximately somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, as it were for that individual to suddenly call you without further ado from thereon. Agreeing to Jung, this kind of coincidence goes past insignificant chance and proposes a more profound association between the individual's contemplations and the outside world. This association, in spite of the fact that not logically intelligible, is experienced as profoundly important by the individual. Jung's investigation of synchronicity was affected by his intrigue in the supernatural and the enchanted, as well as his collaboration with the physicist Wolfgang Pauli. Together, they guessed on the nature of reality and the conceivable presence of acausal interfacing standards that might clarify such wonders. Jung accepted that synchronicity might be a sign of an basic arrange or a significant design in the universe, one that might not be instantly obvious through conventional logical methods. Synchronicity is too frequently connected with originals, another key concept in Jungian brain research. Prime examples are widespread, primordial pictures and topics that dwell in the collective oblivious, a portion of the oblivious intellect shared among all people. When an original is actuated in an individual's mind, it can in some cases show in the outside world through synchronicity. For occasion, experiencing images or occasions that reflect an internal mental change can be seen as a synchronistic experience. In down-to-earth terms, individuals might encounter synchronicity in different shapes, such as dreams and reality covering, imagining almost a particular image or situation and at that point experiencing it in waking life in an unforeseen way. Symbolic experiences, over and over seeing a particular image or number that has individual importance in disconnected contexts. Meeting the right individual at the right time, bumping into somebody who gives precisely the data or help you require at a basic moment. Synchronicity challenges the ordinary understanding of time and space, proposing that there might be more to our encounters than what can be clarified by direct causality. It energizes a more all-encompassing sea of the world, where everything is interconnected in a complex web of meaning. Jung's concept of synchronicity remains persuasive not as it were in brain research but too in different areas that investigate the crossing points of intellect, matter, and meaning. Collective unconscious. The concept of the collective oblivious was presented by Carl Gustav Jung as a principal portion of his expository brain research. Concurring to Jung, the oblivious intellect is not exclusively a store of curbed individual encounters and recollections. Instead, it too contains a more profound layer that he named the collective oblivious. This portion of the oblivious is shared among all creatures of the same species and houses paradigms and widespread images that are acquired or maybe even obtained through individual experience. The collective oblivious comprises prime examples, which are intrinsic, all-inclusive models for thoughts and may be utilized to translate perceptions. These prime examples are repeating themes or subjects that have existed over distinctive societies and verifiable periods. They incorporate figures such as the saint, the mother, the astute ancient men, and the shadow. These model pictures and themes rise in dreams, writing, craftsmanship, and devout homes, reflecting shared human encounters and emotions. Jung accepted that the collective oblivious impacts person behavior and encounters altogether. Not at all like the individual oblivious, which comprises of overlooked or quelled recollections special to an person, the collective oblivious is a shared psychic substrate that rises above person awareness. It is a store of our species' encounters and information, affecting our discernments and intelligent with the world. Relation to paranormal. Jung said that encounters considered supernatural may have roots in the collective oblivious. He contended that supernatural wonders might be signs of prototype pictures and images rising from this collective layer of the oblivious intellect. For occurrence, people encountering comparative psychic marvels, such as clairvoyance or precognition, might be tapping into the same original images inside the collective unconscious. This thought recommends that what we see as supernatural encounters might not be outside extraordinary events but or maybe inner, oblivious forms shared among people. For case, clairvoyant communication may be caught on as people getting to the same model substance at the same time, driving to a shared involvement that rises above standard communication methods. Jung's concept of the collective oblivious and its connection to the supernatural challenges the routine boundaries between the intellect and the outside world. It infers that there might be a more profound, interconnected domain of human encounter where the lines between inward mental states and outside reality obscure. This point of view opens up conceivable outcomes for understanding supernatural marvels as expressions of our shared psychic legacy or maybe then separated, mystifying events. In common-sense terms, Jung's hypothesis of the collective oblivious and its interface to the supernatural can be outlined through a few examples. Shared dreams and dreams. Individuals from diverse societies and times detailing comparative dreams or visionary encounters including common prototype topics, such as extraordinary surges, ventures, or experiences with astute figures. Mythological reverberation, the repeat of comparable myths, legends, and devout stories over different societies, recommending a shared oblivious source for these narratives. Psychic marvels, occurrences where people report encountering clairvoyance, precognition, or synchronicities that appear to rise above standard physical clarifications, conceivably reflecting the enactment of model patterns. Jung's thoughts around the collective oblivious and its association to supernatural wonders welcome a more integrated approach to understanding human awareness and its secretive angles. By considering these wonders as signs of a shared psychic structure, Jung given a system that bridges brain research, mythology, and the consider of the paranormal. Archetypes. Archetypes, as conceptualized by Carl Gustav Jung, are all-inclusive, primal images and pictures that begin from the collective oblivious. These paradigms are intrinsic, acquired possibilities that shape human behavior, recognition, and encounters over distinctive societies and ages. They speak to essential human themes, epitomizing basic subjects such as birth, passing, the mother, the saint, and the shrewd ancient men. These images and pictures repeat in myths, dreams, craftsmanship, and religion, reflecting the shared viewpoints of the human psyche. Jung accepted that originals impact not as it were our ordinary encounters but two supernatural marvels. Supernatural encounters might be seen as appearances of these model pictures and images. For case, dreams, and other uncommon marvels may be expressions of model substance rising from the collective oblivious. These encounters, whereas frequently seen as powerful or otherworldly, might really reflect profound mental truths and widespread human concerns. In this paradigms serve as bridges between the cognizant and oblivious intellect, giving a way to get at how significant mental designs can surface in different shapes. Whether experienced in dreams or through apparently supernatural occasions, paradigms uncover the profound, shared structure of human involvement and the interconnecting of our internal and external universes. Through this focal point, Jung's hypothesis of prime examples offers a wealthy system for deciphering both conventional and exceptional perspectives of human life. Anima and animus. Anima and ill will are vital paradigms in Carl Gustav Jung's expository brain research. The anima speaks to the lady-like side of a man, whereas the enmity epitomizes the manly side of a lady. These prime examples dwell in the collective oblivious and essentially impact the individual's identity and behavior. The anima and hostility serve as arbiters between the cognizant intellect and the more profound layers of the oblivious, encouraging an association with the inverse gender's mental qualities inside oneself. Jung accepted that coordination these inward figures is fundamental for accomplishing mental wholeness. The anima in men and the enmity in ladies frequently show in dreams, fantasies, and projections onto others. When a person gets to be mindful of these inward figures, it can lead to more noteworthy self-understanding and adjust between manly and female viewpoints of their psyche. Paranormal experiences. Encounters with spooky figures or other substances may be deciphered as projections of the anima and hostility. Such supernatural encounters might speak to inside mental clashes or components of the self that have not, however, been coordinated into cognizant mindfulness. For occurrence, a man might see a female spooky figure amid a critical passionate or mental change, symbolizing his experience with the anima. Additionally, a lady might experience a male soul speaking to her hostility amid minutes of profound reflection or crisis. These projections regularly carry typical implications, reflecting uncertain issues, wants, or fears related to the inverse gender's qualities inside the individual's mind. Supernatural encounters including these original figures can serve as openings for mental development, provoking people to stand up to and coordinate these internal angles. By recognizing these projections as parts of themselves, people can move towards more noteworthy self-awareness and internal harmony. In quintessence, Jung's concepts of the anima and ill will give a system for understanding how inside mental elements can show in encounters that appear supernatural. These experiences, or maybe than being simply powerful, can be seen as significant reflections of the individual's internal world, advertising bits of knowledge into the more profound layers of the psyche. Individuation. Individuation, a central concept in Carl Gustav Jung's expository brain research, alludes to the handle of getting to be completely mindful of oneself and coordination different perspectives of the mind. This includes bringing together the cognizant and oblivious parts of the intellect, counting components of the individual oblivious and the collective oblivious. Individuation is a travel towards self-realization, wherein person achieves a more comprehensive understanding of their inward world and accomplishes a concordant adjust between distinctive features of their personality. This handle requires recognizing and absorbing different oblivious components, such as shadow viewpoints, parts of the self that are curbed or denied, paradigms, and other inward figures like the anima and hostility. Through this integration, an individual moves towards wholeness, getting to be more true and complete. Paranormal role. Paranormal encounters can play a critical part in the individuation prepare, acting as catalysts for mental development and self-realization. These encounters, which might incorporate experiences with spooky figures, dreams, synchronicities, or other uncommon marvels, regularly bring oblivious fabric to the surface, inciting the person to go up against and coordinate it. For occasion, an individual might encounter a distinctive dream or vision highlighting a prototype image or figure, such as a shrewd ancient man or a capable creature. Such an experience can give understanding into the individual's internal clashes, wants, or fears, advertising an opportunity for more profound self-understanding and change. Essentially, synchronistic events, meaningful coincidences that need a causal relationship, can draw consideration to critical viewpoints of the mind that require to be recognized and integrated. These supernatural events regularly have a numinous quality, inspiring a sense of wonder and secret that can disturb the conventional stream of life and open the person to modern measurements of encounter. By locks in with these wonders, people can get to the more profound layers of their oblivious intellect, encouraging the individuation process. In this way, supernatural encounters serve as imperative breakthroughs on the way to individuation. They challenge people to extend their mindfulness, coordinated already oblivious fabric, and eventually move towards more prominent mental wholeness and self-realization. Through these transformative experiences, people can accomplish a more significant association with their genuine selves and the bigger, all-inclusive viewpoints of human experience. Shadow. The concept of the shadow is an urgent component in Carl Gustav Jung's expository brain research. The shadow speaks to the portion of the oblivious intellect that contains all the viewpoints of the self that one quells or denies. These viewpoints incorporate curbed shortcomings, wants, instinctual, and indeed imaginative motivations that do not adjust with one's cognizant self-image or societal standards. The shadow is not inalienably negative. It basically comprises parts of the identity that are covered up from cognizant mindfulness due to individual or societal rejection. According to Jung, everybody has a shadow, and it is shaped through a prepare of mental suppression. As people develop and adjust to social desires, they learn to dismiss and bury characteristics and wants regarded unsatisfactory or undesirable. These quelled components amass in the oblivious, shaping the shadow. Since it contains angles of ourselves that we discover troublesome to acknowledge, the shadow is frequently experienced as dim or threatening. The shadow can show in different ways, counting in dreams, fantasies, and unconstrained behaviors. It can too extend outward, causing us to see these repudiated perspectives in others, regularly driving to unreasonable revulsions or solid passionate responses. Jung emphasized the significance of recognizing and coordination the shadow for mental well-being and development, a prepare he called shadow work. Manifestation. Paranormal experiences with dim or inauspicious substances can be caught on as appearances of the shadow. These experiences might speak to the psyche's endeavor to bring curbed components to the surface, requesting affirmation and integration. Such encounters can be terrifying or aggravating, as they go up against people with perspectives of themselves that they have long denied or suppressed. For illustration, a person might involve distinctive dreams or dreams of spooky figures, devils, or other pernicious substances. These figures can symbolize the person's shadow, epitomizing characteristics or wants that they have buried in their oblivious. An alarming experience with a dim substance might reflect the inside battle with quelled outrage, blame, fear, or disgrace. By displaying these components in such a stark and unavoidable way, the mind powers the person to stand up to and bargain with them. These supernatural encounters can act as mental triggers, inciting people to lock in more profound self-reflection and shadow work. The encounter with the shadow is a vital step in the handle of individuation, which Jung depicted as the travel toward getting to be an entirety and completely coordinates person. Amid individuation, one must coordinate the shadow with the cognizant intellect, in this manner diminishing its control to unwittingly impact behavior and perceptions. Moreover, these dim experiences can serve as effective images for the transformative prepare. As chemists looked for to change base metals into gold, standing up to and joining the shadow can lead to individual change and development. The vitality and bits of knowledge picked up from this integration can be diverted towards positive and imaginative endeavors. Understanding these supernatural encounters through the focal point of the shadow can too give a sense of meaning and reason. Or maybe then seeing them as irregular or absolutely outside extraordinary occasions, recognizing them as typical signs of inside mental forms offers a pathway to self-awareness and recuperating. This viewpoint empowers people to investigate the fundamental issues that these encounters might speak to, encouraging a more profound understanding of themselves. The integration of the shadow includes recognizing and tolerating the repudiated parts of the self, which can lead to more noteworthy passionate versatility, self-acceptance, and genuineness. It makes a difference people recover their full extent of feelings and capacities, cultivating a more adjusted and all-encompassing identity. By grasping the shadow, one can too create more prominent sympathy and understanding for others, as it diminishes the inclination to venture one's repudiated characteristics onto others. In outline, Jung's concept of the shadow highlights the significance of recognizing and joining the darker, quelled components of the mind. Supernatural experiences with dim or foreboding substances can serve as typical representations of the shadow, bringing these covered-up perspectives to the surface and inciting vital mental work. By going up against and joining the shadow, people can accomplish more prominent self-awareness, passionate adjust, and individual development, moving towards a more total and true sense of self. Transcendent function. The otherworldly work is a concept in explanatory brain research created by Carl Gustav Jung. It alludes to a mental prepare that permits for the integration of alternate extremes, driving to individual development and individuation. The work encourages the development between the cognizant and oblivious intellect, bridging the hole between diverse viewpoints of the mind. Through the extraordinary work, clashing or contradicting components inside the individual's mind are brought into exchange, driving to a blend that rises above polarities and cultivates mental wholeness. The extraordinary work works through an arrangement of steps, starting with the acknowledgement of contradicting components inside the mind. This acknowledgement is frequently went with by pressure, perplexity, or enthusiastic change as the person hooks with clashing contemplations, sentiments, or wants. As the handle unfurls, there is a progressive development towards integration, where the restricting components are held in energetic pressure, permitting for the development of unused experiences and points of view. At last, this integration leads to a higher level of awareness, where the person encounters a sense of determination and more noteworthy self-awareness. Connection to paranormal. The extraordinary work plays a noteworthy part in how people involvement and decipher supernatural wonders. Supernatural encounters, such as experiences with spirits, dreams, or synchronicities, regularly include an obscuring of the boundaries between the cognizant and oblivious intellect. These encounters can be seen as appearances of oblivious substance rising into cognizant mindfulness, provoking people to lock in with and coordinate these more profound layers of the psyche. For illustration, an individual who encounters a distinctive dream of an expired adored one might translate this as a message from the past. Be that as it may, from a Jungian viewpoint, this encounter might be seen as a sign of the extraordinary work at work. The dream serves as a typical representation of oblivious fabric, such as uncertain feelings or unfinished trade with the expired, coming to the surface for cognizant handling and integration. Similarly, synchronistic events, meaningful coincidences that resist routine explanations, can be caught on as occasions where the otherworldly work bridges cognizant mindfulness and oblivious substance. These occasions regularly include a sense of significant association or noteworthiness, provoking people to reflect on their more profound mental or otherworldly suggestions. Through the handle of reflection and integration, people can pick up bits of knowledge into their inward clashes, wants, and inspirations, driving to individual development and transformation. In this way, the otherworldly work gives a system for understanding how supernatural marvels can serve as catalysts for mental advancement. By encouraging the development between the cognizant and oblivious intellect, the extraordinary work permits people to lock in with and coordinate the more profound layers of their mind, driving to more noteworthy self-awareness, wholeness, and individuation. Supernatural encounters, or maybe than being rejected as simple irregularities, can hence be seen as openings for inward investigation and individual growth. Psychic phenomena. Carl Gustav Jung illustrated a sharp intrigue in different psychic marvels, counting clairvoyance, and precognition. In spite of being a spearheading figure in the field of expository brain research, Jung was not cavalier of these marvels. Instead, he drawn closer them with a logical attitude, whereas remaining open to the plausibility of their importance inside the domain of the psyche. Scientific approach. Jung's approach to psychic marvels was characterized by a commitment to experimental perception and thorough investigation. He recognized the require for cautious examination and documentation of these encounters, recognizing that they held potential experiences into the workings of the human intellect. Whereas Jung was cautious, approximately hopping to extraordinary clarifications, he moreover caught on that the human mind is tremendous and complex, able of creating encounters that may challenge customary logical understanding. In his clinical hone, Jung experienced various people who detailed psychic encounters, such as precognitive dreams or clairvoyant communications. Or maybe then rejecting these reports by and large, he investigated them with interest and an open intellect. Jung saw psychic wonders as appearances of the oblivious intellect, proposing that they might offer profitable experiences into the individual's inward world and mental dynamics. Jung's hypothetical work too reflected his intrigue in psychic wonders. He joined concepts such as synchronicity, the important coincidence of events, and the collective oblivious into his system, giving a hypothetical premise for understanding apparently supernatural encounters. For Jung, these wonders were not essentially extraordinary but or maybe expressions of the oblivious mind's characteristic potential and interconnectedness. While Jung's approach to psychic wonders was not without skepticism, he accepted that they merited genuine thought and examination. He recognized that such encounters may hold significant importance for the individual's mental advancement and otherworldly development. By investigating psychic wonders inside the setting of explanatory brain research, Jung looked to reveal the more profound layers of the human mind and shed light on the puzzles of consciousness. In Rundown, Jung's intrigue in psychic wonders was grounded in a logical approach tempered by an openness to the secrets of the human mind. He drawn closer these encounters with interest and regard, recognizing their potential importance for understanding the nature of awareness and the profundities of the oblivious intellect. Through his clinical hone and hypothetical work, Jung contributed to a broader understanding of psychic marvels and their pertinence to brain research and human experience. Dream analysis. Carl Gustav Jung respected dream investigation as a powerful device for investigating the profundities of the oblivious intellect. Not at all like Sigmund Freud, who centered essentially on dreams as expressions of quelled wants and clashes, Jung seen dreams as typical representations of the psyche's inborn intelligence and potential for development. For Jung, dreams were windows into the oblivious, advertising impressions of covered-up wants, fears, and aspirations. Tool. Dream investigation shaped a central portion of Jung's restorative approach, giving an implies of getting to and joining oblivious fabric into cognizant mindfulness. Jung energized his patients to investigate their dreams in detail, paying consideration to repeating topics, images, and prototype figures. By translating these components, Jung accepted that people seem pick up important bits of knowledge into their mental elements and work towards more noteworthy self-understanding and individual transformation. Jung's strategy of dream investigation varied from Freud's in a few key regards. Whereas Freud centered basically on the inactive substance of dreams, hidden wants and conflicts, Jung emphasized the significance of the show content, the real pictures, images, and occasions that showed up in the dream. Jung accepted that these images held profound meaning and might give clues to the individual's mental state and formative trajectory. Paranormal symbols. Dreams frequently contain images that might be deciphered as supernatural, reflecting more profound oblivious forms and associations with the collective oblivious. Jung accepted that these images were not arbitrary but or maybe expressions of model topics and themes that are shared over societies and ages. For illustration, dreams including puzzling figures, powerful occasions, or otherworldly scenes might be deciphered as typical representations of the psyche's experience with the numinous or the transcendent. Jung saw supernatural images in dreams as appearances of the oblivious mind's endless supply of information and shrewdness. These images seem serve as entrances to more profound levels of the mind, advertising experiences into the individual's otherworldly, imaginative, and instinctive measurements. By investigating these images in the setting of dream examination, people might pick up a more profound understanding of their inward world and tap into their inactive potential for individual development and self-realization. In Rundown, Jung's approach to dream examination emphasized the typical nature of dreams and their potential centrality for understanding the oblivious intellect. By deciphering the images and subjects shown in dreams, people may pick up profitable experiences into their mental flow and otherworldly travel. Supernatural images in dreams were seen as reflections of the psyche's experience with the numinous and its association to the collective oblivious, advertising significant openings for self-discovery and transformation. Personal experiences. Carl Gustav Jung's individual encounters played a noteworthy part in forming his understanding of the supernatural and its pertinence to brain research. All through his life, Jung experienced different uncommon marvels, counting dreams, synchronicities, and near-death encounters, which significantly affected his viewpoint on the nature of awareness and reality. Experience. Jung's possessed experiences with supernatural wonders, such as striking dreams and synchronistic occasions, given him with first-hand bits of knowledge into the workings of the oblivious intellect. These encounters regularly resisted customary clarifications, driving Jung to investigate the plausibility of a more profound, interconnected reality past standard discernment. Moreover, Jung's near-death involvement, which happened amid a period of ailment in his early adulthood, increased his mindfulness of the potential for otherworldly states of consciousness. Perspective. Jung's individual encounters contributed to his conviction in the reality of the psyche's capacity to rise above conventional discernments and associated with a broader reality. He saw supernatural wonders as critical expressions of the oblivious intellect, reflecting its tremendous potential and capacity to rise above time, space, and person awareness. Jung's experiences with the numinous, whether through dreams, or synchronicities, underscored his conviction that the human mind is complicatedly associated to a bigger, collective measurement of reality. In Rundown, Jung seen supernatural marvels not as unimportant peculiarities or abnormalities but as important appearances of the oblivious mind's inborn imagination and profundity. These encounters given Jung with profitable experiences into the nature of awareness, imagery, and the human psyche's capacity for change and amazing quality. By grasping the reality of the supernatural, Jung opened up modern roads for investigation inside the field of brain research, highlighting the interconnecting of intellect, soul, and the broader cosmos.